What's going on, Crimson Tide fans? It is Friday, so you know what that means. We are just 8 days away from Alabama football coming back to Bryant-Denny Stadium, and I am super, super excited for this season. We're going to be breaking down our pretty much predictions for every single game. I'm going to throw some score predictions in there too, so maybe in a couple weeks here, maybe I look like an asshole, but we'll see what happens. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments section. Predict Alabama's record here in 2024 for me right now. First game of the season, Kalen DeBoer's first game at Bryant-Denny Stadium as Alabama's head coach. Under the lights, a 7 o'clock kickoff against Western Kentucky. This is going to be a fun one, man. I tell you what, I'm going to give Alabama the win on this one. A solid win, 42-14. Look, I think this is going to be a fun game. I think Alabama goes out there, gets the job done. You've got superior talent. You've got superior coaching. I think the most interesting thing about this game is really going to be the first look at the defense this year. I've said a little bit that, the defense has been run by Nick Saban for the past 17 years, no matter who the defensive coordinator was. That was Nick Saban's baby at the end of the day. It's going to be different now with Kane Womack. New system. Can't wait to see how it goes. I think the offense is going to go crazy this year. So I got Alabama winning this one big, 42-14 over Western Kentucky to go 1-0 to start the season. Week 2 against South Florida. This one's going to be a little bit of a revenge game for us. We know what happened last year. You go down to South Florida, you start Tyler Buchner in that game, and you just do not look good at all from beginning to end. Ty Simpson has to come in the game and, kind of save the day for Alabama. I think the Crimson Tide gets this one done 38-13 to go 2-0 to start the season. This game also going to be a night game. 2 back-to-back night games at Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's going to be amazing, seeing the lights in the third quarter, hearing Dixieland Delight. Man, it's going to be a fun time, and I cannot wait. Alabama beats the crap out of USF, South Florida. Almost said UCF for Central Florida there, in week 2 to advance to 2-0. This is going to be an interesting game. Alabama at Wisconsin. Really the first big test for the Crimson Tide, and I think it comes at a great time. Third game of the season. You go out there and you kind of really get to see what you have as a team. How the offensive coordinator, Nick Sheridan, how Kane Womack on the defensive side of the ball, how those guys are going to react, calling plays, what personnel is going to be out there, in different types of situations and stuff against a really decent opponent in Wisconsin. But I do have Alabama winning this one 24-17. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. It's going to be on the road, and it is better competition. And you look to what Kalen DeBoer did last year with Washington. There were a lot of games that were kind of close, but they were able to pull it out at the end of the day. So I think Alabama goes in there, beats Luke Fickell. I think it's going to be interesting to see also who is the starting quarterback for Wisconsin. I guess it's going to be Tyler Van Dyke, which I don't really think he's been very good at all, like his entire time in college. So we'll see how he does. Maybe he comes out there and surprises a lot of people. We'll see what Tyler Van Dyke can do, but I do think Alabama gets away with this one 24-17 to start off the season 3-0. And then you got a bye week in week 4, one of 2 bye weeks this season across college football. I think that's really big as well. Having a second bye week, letting your guys have a chance to kind of recoup, and it comes the week before, probably the biggest game of the regular season for Alabama, because in week 5, going up against Georgia, the Bulldogs will come to Bryant-Denny Stadium. 7:30 Eastern Time kickoff on September 28th. That game is going to be on ABC as well. Look, this is what it is, man. 2 powerhouses right here. Alabama versus Georgia. 2 of the best programs in the country. I think this is going to be a really, really fun game. You got Carson Beck, one of the Heisman leaders. They also have Trevor Etienne. We'll see what happens with him. He got a little bit in a little bit of trouble during the offseason, so we'll see. I assume by week 4 he's going to be playing. I don't think he's probably going to miss any time, honestly, for Georgia. But unfortunately, I do have Alabama losing to Georgia in this one. I think it's going to be a decently close game, but I think Georgia, they've got a really good team. We know what Kirby Smart's defense is like. I would love to see them go out there and prove me wrong, make me look like a total idiot. But I do like Carson Beck as a quarterback. I think he's going to go pretty high in the draft. He's, up there in the Heisman favorites. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Jalen Milroe's up there, number 2, 3 in the Heisman odds as well. So, I think by that week 5 time, we will really see, how Alabama's offense, especially Jalen Milroe, how that offensive line is going to look, how that defense is going to look. We'll see what happens, but for right now, I think I've got Georgia winning this one 35-28 to make Alabama starting off the season 3-1. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and just be totally honest with me. Type Y for yes or N for no. Do you guys think Alabama will beat Georgia in week 5? It is the pinned comment of today's video. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. You can ignore the ad. Go down there to the pinned comment and let me know if you think Alabama will beat Georgia in week 5. This one I think is pretty easy. October 5th, going to Nashville. Alabama takes on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt last year, and honestly, for the past, I don't even know how long, they've been bad for a long time. And if you look at their over-under win totals, it's 2.5. So I think that's probably going to be about where they're at. Vanderbilt's not good. Alabama rolls over them 40-7 to advance to 4-1 on the season. Week 7, South Carolina coming to Tuscaloosa. I think this one's going to be kind of a fun game. It's going to be a noon kickoff, really 11 a.m. Central Time. But I think this one's going to be a really fun game. You never know how South Carolina is actually going to be. You remember a couple years ago in 2022, they were an 8-5 team, so pretty dang mediocre. They still beat Tennessee and Clemson in that season. So you never know how South Carolina is going to end up. I think Alabama is going to win this one, somewhere around 35-13-ish. Their quarterback, they're going to be starting a true freshman quarterback, Lenora Sellers. He was a 4-star quarterback in the 2023 class. So, I mean, we'll see. Number 17 quarterback, number 4 player from the state of South Carolina. It'll be interesting to see how he goes out there, and, it's going to be week 7 by that time, so maybe he's able to get comfortable as well. So we'll see what happens, but at the end of the day, I think Alabama's going to get this one done. The third Saturday in October, one of my favorite weekends of the season. Get your stogies ready. You can go over to R&R Cigars down there in Tuscaloosa. A little shameless plug. Used to work down there a couple of years ago. Go ahead and get your cigars ready, man, because there is no way in hell I am picking Tennessee to win this game. I hate the Vols, and there's no questions about that. I hate Vols fans, except for Matthew Peterson, our lovely host here at Chat Sports as well. He is a Tennessee alumni. But, the big thing with this game, Nico Iamaleava, I think that is the biggest question for Tennessee in this game. It's well into the season at this point, so we will have a good, solid understanding of what Nico Iamaleava is going to be able to bring to the table for them. But, last year they were super inconsistent, losing to Florida, losing to Alabama after having a big lead in that game, also dropping games to Missouri and Georgia. So the biggest games of the season for them last year, they lost all of them. So we'll see if, Tennessee's able to, turn the page and be better. I've got Alabama going to Knoxville and winning this one, a relatively close game, 23-17, and Alabama's going to be lighting up stogies again in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today's show is presented by LinkedIn. When you're hiring for a small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has all the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. I remember before I got hired here at Chat Sports, all I did was update my LinkedIn page. I put my resume on there. I sent it out to a bunch of places, and super simple. The bosses here at Chat Sports got back to me within like a day. So you want to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals and that you can't find anywhere else. even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be, the perfect role for them. In any given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. What are you guys doing? On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. So if you're not, what are you doing at this point? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/cfchat. That's linkedin.com/cfchat to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. But one more time for you guys, that's linkedin.com/cfchat. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's video. Week 9, Missouri coming to Tuscaloosa. Another really fun matchup, I think. Don't know the time on this game quite yet. That'll come, closer to the time of that game. But look, Missouri had a very good season last year. They went 11-2, and for the most part, their quarterback, Brady Cook, pretty solid, I think. I mean, the last 2 seasons as a starting quarterback, put up pretty decent numbers, not just in the passing game, though, also putting up good numbers in the run game as well. So Alabama's going to have to control him. They're also going to have to control Luther Burden. I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the country this year. Now, they did lose their leading rusher last year and their backup running back. So we'll see how they're able to replace those guys, because Luther Burden, their best wide receiver, is their leading rusher in returning this year in terms of yards. So, he put up 1,200 yards last year in receiving. So we're going to have to stop him. We'll see, by that time, we'll have a good feel of Alabama's secondary and how they are going to be playing. But I've got the Crimson Tide winning this one, 30-20, advancing to 7-1 on the season. And then you have another bye week, the second of the season on November 2nd. I think this is a really, really big bye week as well, and I will tell you guys why in just a second. But if you guys aren't already subscribed to the Alabama Football Report, what are you doing? We're 12 minutes into this video. You clearly like what we're doing here at Chat Sports, at the Alabama Football Report. We're going to be having Alabama watch parties all season long, so do not miss out. Make sure you are subscribed. That's youtube.com/@RollTideTV. And the reason that bye week is really, really big, because for the most part, the last, I don't even know how long, a long time, as long as I can remember, Alabama has played LSU off that bye week, and it continues with that second bye week of the season. November 9th, this matchup is going to be down in Baton Rouge. Really kind of hope it's a night game, because, LSU is just so proud about their atmosphere, night games in Baton Rouge, but Alabama for a long time has gotten the best of them in night games down in Baton Rouge. And look, man, their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, I'm going to be mean here for a second. I think he sucks. Maybe I'm going to look like an idiot by the time, week 11 rolls around, but I don't think he's very good. 11 touchdowns to 7 interceptions in 18 games in his college career. That's not good. Maybe he can take the step forward this year, but I'm not going to believe that till I see it. Now, they do have some other really solid first-round talent along the offensive line. So we'll see if Alabama's able to get any kind of pressure on him. I think that can be a very big deal in this game. Will Campbell, Emory Jones, both left and right tackle for them, are going to be certified first-round draft picks next year. They also have Harold Perkins Jr., also could be a first-round draft pick next year. He's the dog. He can play anything on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see what happens, but I've got Alabama taking down LSU 23-13 to advance to 8-1 on the season. Mercer, week 12. There's not much really to talk about here with Mercer. I think Alabama's going to wipe the floor with them. It's going to be around 42-3. I think Alabama should and will go out there and just beat the dog out of Mercer. So, Alabama's going to go into this one. Maybe it's, let's see, it might not be, maybe it's home, it might be senior day, maybe. It depends if the Iron Bowl is going to be senior day, but I think Alabama is just going to go in there and, dog Mercer at the end of the day and advanced to 9-1 on the season. Another really big matchup for the Crimson Tide going to Oklahoma. I think this is going to be a really big game for Alabama because we don't really know, kind of what Oklahoma's going to look like this year. You got Brent Venables, who historically, in his time at Clemson as the defensive coordinator, was really good. But then, their defense hasn't been very good at Oklahoma. Now, who is going to be their starting quarterback? I assume it's going to be Jackson Arnold. You had Dylan Gabriel, who transferred to Oregon. General Booty transfers to Louisiana Monroe. So Jackson Arnold, we'll see. I mean, his biggest thing, this is his game in the Alamo Bowl against Arizona last year. If you look at the completions, you look at the yards, pretty good. But then you look over to the right, and he's got 3 interceptions as well. So, I mean, is he going to be able to take care of the ball? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this one. I think Alabama wins this game 30-28. I think it's going to be a close game because Oklahoma is a team that you just kind of never really know how they're going to come in and play, especially at the end of the season. Even though they're in their first year in the SEC, going through an entire SEC schedule, they might be worn down. Alabama might be able to take advantage of that as well because they have that experience of going through a full SEC schedule. But I got Alabama winning this one 30-28. And then the biggest game of the year, the Iron Bowl, November 30th against Auburn. Look, I think the biggest thing in this game, Auburn's got a lot of really, really good talent. What they don't have, though, is a good quarterback. Let's just be honest. Peyton Thorne has not been good at all. He had a decent year in 2021 at Michigan State, but then regressed in 2022, played way worse. And then in his time at Auburn, has not played very good at all. They've got some good talent. Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, we've heard all about them. Keandre Lambert-Smith, also very good transfer from Penn State. Look, Auburn has some good talent, let's be honest. Jarquez Hunter, also a very good running back coming back for them. But there's no way in hell that I'm going to sit here and predict Auburn beating Alabama. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's at Auburn. I don't care if it's in Tuscaloosa. I am never going to pick Auburn to beat Alabama. But it is the Iron Bowl, and we all know how crazy these games could be. So I got Alabama winning this one 24-20. To advance to 11-1 on the season, and that's my final prediction for their regular season record. I think Alabama, we'll see if they can get it to the SEC championship game. I don't know. That's going to be a toss-up. We'll see. There's kind of a different, setup for that this year. It's not East versus West. It's just the top 2 teams in the SEC. So we'll see how that plays out at the end of the day. But I think by the end of the season, Alabama gets into the college football playoffs. So let me know in the comments section your score prediction to the 2024 Iron Bowl. Let me know right now in the comments section.